For centuries, the Galactic Empire ruled unchallenged. Its fleets stretched across spiral arms, its dreadnoughts forged from the cores of dead stars, its governors lording over thousands of worlds. No species dared to question the authority of the throne. The Empire's military doctrine was simple: overwhelm, dominate, and erase resistance before it could grow. For so long, it worked flawlessly. That was until the signal arrived. In the cold reaches beyond the frontier, a patrol fleet had vanished. No distress beacon, no black box recovery, no debris field. Just silence in a region once charted as barren space. At first, the Admiralty dismissed it as sensor interference or an ion storm. But when an entire armada, 3,000 ships strong, disappeared next, the panic began to spread through the upper command. In the heart of the Imperial Citadel, the Grand Council convened. Hollow projections of admirals shimmered across the vast chamber, each face etched with the same unease. Reports poured in, faint energy readings, ghost transmissions, shadows moving in the dark between stars. None could confirm what they faced, only that whatever it was moved with unnatural precision. Admiral Terran, a veteran of countless campaigns, spoke first. His voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed doubt. "We have encountered no foe capable of this. Whoever they are, they know our technology, our tactics, and our communication arrays. They strike with surgical accuracy and vanish without trace." The Emperor's voice echoed from the throne. "Then we will meet them head-on. Send the 7th Armada. Leave no system unscanned." The order rippled across the stars. Days later, the 7th Armada arrived in the silent void where the others had disappeared. Thousands of ships formed a wall of light, sensors sweeping the dark expanse. It was quiet, too quiet. Not even cosmic radiation registered normally. Then, one by one, the ship's systems began to flicker. At first, it was dismissed as interference. Then entire squadrons went dark. Power grids failed. Artificial gravity fluctuated. In the command vessel Empyrean's Wrath, alarms blared as the sensor array overloaded. "Admiral, we have a contact bearing 317 Mark 20. It's enormous." The main screen filled with a distortion at first, like the fabric of space was being torn apart. Then from the blackness something emerged, massive, angular, and scarred. The hull shimmered with unknown alloys, darker than the void around it. It bore no Imperial insignia, no known signature. Then came the light. Blue thrusters ignited across its structure, illuminating its colossal form. Every measurement broke expectation. It was larger than an Imperial dreadnought, larger even than a planetary siege carrier. Yet the energy signature it emitted was restrained, contained, as though the ship was deliberately concealing its full power. The communications officer stared at the readings. "That can't be right. The design doesn't match any archive. It looks ancient." Admiral Terran leaned forward. "Magnify the hull markings." The view zoomed in, and the bridge fell silent. Across the armored plating, faint letters shimmered beneath centuries of wear. The symbols were primitive, written in a language unknown to the Empire. But the computer translated it within seconds. UNS Vengeance. There was confusion at first, then disbelief. The linguistic database cross-referenced the text with ancient archive records, pre-Imperial era data collected from extinct civilizations. The translation appeared in cold text across the display. Origin Sol System. Species human. Status extinct. A silence unlike any other filled the command deck. Every officer stared, trying to comprehend what stood before them. "Extinct?" someone whispered. Before anyone could respond, the massive vessel sent out a transmission. It wasn't encoded, it wasn't encrypted, it was a simple open broadcast. "Identify yourselves." The voice was firm, cold, unmistakably human. Admiral Terran responded cautiously. "This is the Imperial 7th Armada. You are trespassing in Imperial space. State your purpose." A pause followed. Then the reply came, slow and deliberate. "Imperial space? That's new. Last I recall, this sector belonged to no one." "What year is it?" Terran frowned. "The current cycle is 9045 of the Imperial calendar." The voice chuckled faintly. 9,000 years, so we overslept." Before Terran could ask, the transmission cut off. Then every sensor on the Empyrean's Wrath spiked off the charts. The Vengeance's core flared to life, drawing power beyond measurable limits. In the next instant, a gravitational wave swept across the fleet. Imperial ships were hurled off course, crushed by invisible pressure, hulls twisting as energy shields failed. One dreadnought exploded into fragments before it could even fire. The rest scrambled to respond, unleashing a storm of plasma fire, but the blasts curved away, dissipating harmlessly against the Vengeance's defensive field. Then, in a blinding flash, the human battleship retaliated. A single lance of light erupted from its forward cannon, carving through the void. It struck the heart of the Imperial formation, vaporizing hundreds of ships instantly. The shockwave rippled across the fleet, knocking out entire sectors of communication. "Impossible," shouted Terran. "One ship cannot," but it could, and it did. Within minutes, the 7th Armada was reduced to chaos. Every countermeasure, every weapon, every formation, the Vengeance had an answer for all of it. It moved like a predator among prey, its movements efficient and merciless. When the battle was over, only debris and silence remained. The lone Imperial flagship drifted aimlessly, its hull breached, its crew staring in disbelief at the distant Colossus. The Emperor watched the battle unfold from the Citadel's tactical display. His face was pale, his voice trembling. "Find out what that thing is. Find where it came from." Across the Empire, research divisions were thrown into frenzy. They scoured archives, digging into forbidden data from before the Empire's rise. What they found sent waves of fear through the upper ranks. Long before the Empire, humanity had existed. Brilliant, reckless, unstoppable. They had expanded beyond their home system, waged wars that shattered moons, and built machines capable of bending reality itself. But then records ceased. Some theorized they had destroyed themselves. Others believed they had ascended beyond physical existence. Either way, the consensus was clear. Humanity was gone. Yet here, one of their warships remained, and it was awake. Weeks passed. Imperial scouts ventured near the last known coordinates only to vanish. The Vengeance did not pursue conquest, it waited. When approached, it sent a single warning: "Leave this sector. Humanity's domain is closed." But the Empire couldn't allow such defiance. Pride demanded retaliation. A grand coalition of fleets was assembled, over 10,000 ships. They approached cautiously, forming an unbreakable siege formation around the human vessel. This time they fired first. The void erupted into a storm of plasma, antimatter, and particle lances. Every weapon the Empire possessed converged upon the lone ship. The brightness was blinding, the energy readings incomprehensible. When the light faded, every admiral watching believed it was over. Then the Vengeance emerged from the inferno untouched. Its shields shimmered faintly, and a new energy signature pulsed from its core. A cold voice came across every channel. "Your Empire stands on graves it doesn't understand. You awakened something you cannot control." And then the ship unleashed its true power. From its hull expanded hundreds of autonomous drones, silent, angular, fast. They moved faster than light could trace, striking command vessels with precision that defied probability. Entire fleets fell apart under the onslaught, their lines shredded before they could regroup. The Empire's greatest weapon, the Eternal Crown, fired its planet-killer beam capable of erasing continents. The Vengeance absorbed it, redirected it, and sent it back tenfold. The Eternal Crown ceased to exist. The message was clear. Humanity was not extinct. It had simply been waiting. Rumors spread across the Empire like wildfire. Some said the humans had entered hibernation after a war too vast to comprehend. Others claimed they had sealed themselves in stasis, leaving automated guardians behind to watch over forgotten domains. Whatever the truth, the Vengeance was proof that humanity had once wielded power beyond any empire's imagination. The Emperor ordered a retreat, but it was already too late. The human ship transmitted one final message: "This galaxy was once ours. We built it. We bled for it. We left it in peace. Do not make us remind you why no one challenged us before." Then it vanished, slipping into subspace with a ripple of light. Centuries later, whispers still haunted the Empire's command halls. Patrols near the old battle site reported ghost readings, brief pings of impossible technology, echoes of human transmissions. None dared investigate too closely. Every now and then, a lost freighter or rogue fleet would disappear in that region. And always, the same words appeared in their black box recordings. They said humanity was extinct. They were wrong. The legend of the Vengeance endured. To the Galactic Empire, it was a nightmare that could never be forgotten. To the rest of the galaxy, it was a reminder of the ones who had come before, the ones who had forged war into an art and vanished into legend. And somewhere, far beyond the reach of Imperial sensors, the human battleship slept once more in the dark between stars, waiting for the day when it would be needed again. The galaxy had called them extinct. But in truth, humanity had simply been resting, watching, remembering, and when they returned, the universe would